What's up? I'm just playing some. I googled like interesting background videos just because sometimes I have like reaction-based content, but not this time. I'm just gonna have something that is a little bit interesting to watch in the background while I talk. So, I'm talking about the Saturday Night Live with Elon Musk hosting. Oh my God, I just butchered that sentence. Saturday Night Live with Elon Musk hosting. Is that harder to say than I thought it would be, or am I just up too late? One of the two is definitely true. That's a trippy video. But yeah, I never watched Saturday Night Live. I think it's kind of an awful show, if I'm being honest, and I hope I'm not, I don't know, hurting anyone's feelings or something like that. But I also feel like that's sort of the general consensus. I'm sort of surprised that Saturday Night Live is even going on still. I watch that show every now and then, or I see like highlights maybe pop up on YouTube, and I'm just kind of like, why does anyone watch this? It's so unfunny. All the acting feels really forced, and it's just not funny. But I'm kind of interested in Elon Musk, and I'm definitely like appreciative of Tesla and SpaceX and both of their missions and all that. So I'm on the side of the party that is appreciative and thankful that we have somebody like Elon, and I'm a believer in the electric car future and whatnot. And you just say what you will about that, but yeah, I had my reasons to want to see the Saturday Night Live with Elon Musk. Just because, I mean, I didn't necessarily expect it to be entertaining or funny necessarily, but I kind of just knew that I had to see it to see what it was going to be. And I don't know, I don't think I really went into it with any expectations. I just expected Elon to be there because he was going to be there. And outside of that, I sort of expected maybe it's going to be a pretty unfunny show for the most part. And other than that, I really just didn't have much thought about it at all. Miley Cyrus was doing some singing and whatnot. They had like a Mother's Day intro thing, and that was kind of a dumb whatever. I don't know, Miley Cyrus. I should probably listen to her music sometime and do some reaction-based stuff on that, because I'm kind of intrigued by her career change and whatnot. She's a pretty good singer and whatnot. Yeah, but it was about Elon hosting, and well, I thought that it was, I guess he revealed that he has Asperger's on the show, and that was kind of not surprising. I think the amount of work that he puts into his company and stuff, it's just kind of like, well, it makes sense that he would have that. I thought some of the scripts were funny, or maybe some of the lines were funny. And I thought his introduction was pretty good. He just kind of talked about himself and maybe had a chance to clear the air a little bit. Because he is like a very spotlighted public figure, and maybe doesn't really get an opportunity to communicate much outside of his Twitter followings and whatnot like that. He's one of those guys that's just like somebody could take a quote and then they could use that quote to sort of, create a narrative, whether or not they want to make Elon look good or look bad. So I think him being on Saturday Night Live put him in front of an audience that he wouldn't normally be in front of. And that was probably a good thing for him. So, opportunistically, I think he saw something there, but maybe just as like a bucket list thing, or, I feel like if you're offered to host Saturday Night Live, it's one of those things you're like, yeah, you say yes. But yeah, for the most part, I thought the show was extremely unfunny. I just sort of appreciated the better parts, like, again, where he revealed he had Asperger's. That was really interesting. He said something kind of funny about like how he is somewhat of an outlandish character, or says things that are a little too ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm making electric cars and trying to colonize Mars. Like, you can't exactly expect me to just be a regular dude. And that's kind of like, fair enough. So yeah, I definitely appreciated it for that reasons, and I think that there actually were a couple moments that were sort of funny, or a couple of the skits that were kind of funny. But overall, I felt like most of the show just sort of fell into this really unfunny category, with a lot of cringy humor, forced acting, and just a lot of parts that are just really annoying. God, they had this one script like where it's some Icelandic talk show host or something, and it just seemed like such a waste of time. Like, there's nothing really funny about this. Like, I get that it's objectively funny. Like, if I had to describe what kind of content this is, I would describe it as comedic content. But that doesn't mean I think it's funny. I didn't think it was interesting. I didn't think it was funny. I really just thought that it was annoying. Um, I mean, its intention was to be funny. And the audience that's watching, the studio audience, is, of course, laughing appropriately at, you know, when there's a punchline and stuff, they laugh, and if it's supposed to be really funny, they laugh really loud, but they're way more enthusiastic than I think anybody's going to realistically be watching the show. I've always felt funny about that, having studio audiences and stuff. Is it supposed to cue you when to laugh? Is it supposed to make you feel like you're in a crowd of people like laughing, or just make you feel like less lonely watching the TV by yourself? It probably does all the above, depending on you know, who gets whatever they're getting out of that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Saturday Night Live is really not my kind of show. They got this hyped up intro, throwing all these names out for people that I'm not really familiar with anymore, and all this super hyped up jazz music with like a super snazzy saxophone just soloing all over the place. It's just got all this energy, and I don't know, man. It just feels like it kind of goes nowhere. Like, it keeps going in circles. Yeah, I think the worst skit was probably... Well, they had a Baby Yoda thing, too, on this, like, a newscast thing that they do. The newscast thing was okay. There were parts of that were fine or interesting or maybe funny even. But then they had Baby Yoda come on after Elon, who was playing some kind of, like, crypto expert or something. And that Baby Yoda thing was just so dumb. I'm not really like that into Star Wars, so maybe I didn't appreciate the full spectrum of the humor or whatever, but even for the jokes that I do get, it's just kind of like, oh yeah, I understand why that's a joke or something. It's not like actually funny or clever for the most part. So I'm really surprised that Saturday Night Live is even running still. I don't really know why it is, and I wonder if anyone recently has gone into Saturday Night Live and come out with like a really good career, because I know back in the day a lot of big names came from Saturday Night Live, but I don't really know if it's like that anymore. Maybe it is, but geez, it's like, to me, it's just like one of the most unfunny things. I really don't want to sit down and watch Saturday Night Live. There's just so much sitting through it, it feels like, where you're just waiting for it to be over. But I had to watch it because it was Elon, and I know that's why they put him on there, you know, to get a new audience and whatnot. He's one of the most probably provocative and watched people right now, so it makes perfect sense. But yeah, hopefully it was like a net win for his image. I don't think that there was anything about his time on SNL that would make somebody like him less necessarily. Because even if there are parts or jokes that he made that I didn't like or just thought were lame or dumb, or skits that he were a part of, it's like that's on SNL. That's not really on Elon. He's just the host of the show, but he's not like in control of it. You know what I mean? He's just kind of the star of this episode. So yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on it. Pretty neutral. There were a couple funny moments, and I'm, you know, happy that happened, because I think it's just good that he has another platform to express himself in some way, because if he just has Twitter and then whatever little news interviews and stuff, people, like, the media just takes segments of whatever and then creates their own narrative around it. And that's just how it is being a high profile person. You say one thing, but they take your words out of context, and that happens all the time for him. I think he even has some kind of policy with his partners or spouse or whoever he's with at the time to, like, just not watch the news. Like, we do not watch the news, we do not consume media, and that makes sense, because I think just imagine being that high profile and then, like, having it in your head what kind of information people have about you, or what kind of idea people have about you. I think it would just fuck you up, to be honest. So I respect that policy. But yeah, you know how the news is, you know how the media is. But yeah, I just thought I'd share my 2 cents on my thoughts on the Elon Musk hosting Saturday Night Live. So yeah, what do you think of Saturday Night Live? Do you think it's funny? Do you watch it? And also, what did you think of the episode if you watched it? Kind of curious what your opinion is on Elon Musk in general. Is it positive? Is it negative? Why? And yeah, I think a lot of the times our opinions come from the information that we get. I feel like if everybody got the same information, our opinions would actually be much more alike, but a lot of people just get different information because they're loyal to a different source of news or something like that. Or maybe they have like they have other reasons to just feel differently, of course, but I think a lot of the times it's just a difference in information more so than it is a difference in who we are, or a difference in ethics, or a real difference in perspective. It's just a difference in information that we're given. So that's something to keep in mind if you ever have like a political difference with somebody and it's causing a lot of tension. Just keep that in mind. Like, they probably know some things that you don't, and you know some things that they don't. And if you guys can look past the difference in your understandings of what you're talking about, maybe you can still come to an agreement or an appreciation as to why you guys feel differently, instead of just not being able to accept that you feel differently. But without being able to do that, it makes it really difficult to have conversation. But I think that's kind of the point of media, in a way, to like divide people to the point that they can't actually communicate that well. So, divide and conquer. I think that's the media's intention a lot of the times. So yeah, before I get into that, I'm going to end the video here, but you know what to do if you want to show me your support and see me in future videos. You can like and subscribe, and if you want to, you can hit that alarm bell notification, but I hate it when people tell me to do that. Yeah. The thing about subscribing too is it's not like you're going to get notified all the time. It's just, it kind of gives me a little number on my page, and then makes it a little easier to follow my content if you want to, but it's not like you click subscribe and suddenly YouTube is just shoving my stuff down your throat. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, keep that in mind. You can hit that sub button if you want, and I will leave it at that and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.